Bruce Rivers, he's the criminal lawyer. Bruce Rivers, he's the criminal lawyer. Bruce Rivers, he's the criminal lawyer. And that's Mo told you to stop dropping those stupid as fuck videos. What up, what up, what up? So that's Mo, your prison lawyer. IGSTS. You on the grill pit. And buddy keep dropping these stupid as fuck videos. So I can't even do my work because I gotta keep trying to check this mark on this foolishness. Hold up, let me pick that up. What up? That's Mo, your prison lawyer. Who this? No. What's up, super live lawyer? Oh no, I'm not gonna stop dropping these motherfucking videos until you tell the masses the truth. And while you dwell on that, let's get into this.
What do you got to say about SAF Mo saying white MFers?
I don't give a fuck what anybody says because it's America and you should be able to do and say what the fuck you want. Fuck you want. Fuck you want. Fuck you want. God bless America.
Bruce Rivers, he's the criminal lawyer. Bruce Rivers, he's the criminal lawyer. Bruce Rivers, he's the criminal lawyer. And SF Mo told you to stop dropping those stupid as fuck videos. What's up? It's SF Mo, prison lawyer. You're on the grill pit. Volume 2. Let's watch this dude. I keep telling this dude to stop dropping videos, but he don't listen. Get into this video that he put together. The title of the video is "How Do I Reconcile with Getting Guilty Defendants Off the Hook?" And I thought I thought it was gonna be interesting, because I'm thinking that right off the bat that he's gonna, get into the dirty. But he doesn't. Let's just listen, if you can.
So, okay, last one, Sudi. Have you defended individuals who you are fairly sure they have committed the violent acts that they are accused of? Example, murder, rape, etc. And successfully gotten them off of the charges? And if so, how do you reconcile with yourself the knowledge that you have been able to assist them in avoiding repercussions for their actions? I quit studying law because I didn't think I'd be able to compartmentalize my emotions and not be affected by...
She's basically saying, I have a moral compass, I have ethics. Couldn't be a lawyer because you're a lying soup. You're a lying bastard is basically what she's saying. But whatever, let's go.
Things like this. I'd love to hear your take on it and how you handle it. So here's the thing. This is actually probably one of the most asked questions I get. If you know your client did it, how do you reconcile it? Well, sometimes your client, in fact, a lot of times, the best cases are the ones where there's no question what happened. It's just, what does it mean legally? Okay? Give you an example. My client was sitting at the end of a bar, and these guys come in from the local college, small town, and my client had smoked a little weed, and he was sitting there, saw a buddy of his that he hadn't seen in a long time, and so they're sitting there, and these guys proceed to get drunk, the other guys from the college. And there's one guy starts using the N-word and starts calling the Commodore, it's a VFW, calling the Commodore this and that, and he was also an instructor, and he just thought he was being bullied. So he's like, okay, you're out of here. So we asked my client and his buddy to escort this guy out of there. So my client's buddy grabs him from behind, and my client grabs his hands, and they're walking him out the door. It's all on video. He wriggles free, goes to punch my client in the face, and my client pushes him back. He falls. 5 days later, he's dead. Hits his head, and he's dead. No question what happened. Prosecutor filed second-degree intentional murder charges, which were absolutely unbelievable and ridiculous. And so I knew he did it, but it wasn't murder. Now,
He's not answering the question. So, whatever.
what about somebody who really did something?
So he didn't answer the question. So, I mean, it's obvious he's not answering that particular question because he bought, in his mind, the best scenario, which is you have a gentleman who does not commit a crime, but the state overcharges. So not to get into whatever, I just want to talk about specifically the state overcharging, which is an issue. So he doesn't talk about that. That's their normal tactic. It benefits both the prosecutor and the defense by the state overcharging, right? So if the state overcharges, what happens is 99% of the time it sets up a plea. And then because they end up convicting you of the charge you originally should have had, the state doesn't lose, right? They just overcharge to get you back to where you initially was, and everybody goes home happy. Judge, prosecutor, defense attorney, and you go home happy until you wake up and realize you go into law library and figure out that your lawyer just basically turned you into a slave, you know. So why you have a problem with that, SF? What's the problem? Everybody's happy. Well, the problem I have with that is the overcharging. Overcharging is a tactical weapon used by the prosecutor, defense that the defense understands the incompetency of most public defenders. Even if they decide to go to trial, ends up getting you time because what they tell you, usually not necessarily murder charges, but a lot of crimes where you could actually defend yourself and win. They tell you you don't have to prove your case because the prosecutor, the state has the burden. We're going to sit back and let them prove the case. If you look at it, they really don't have a case against you because what they do is because you don't know the law, they start talking about facts and have you bit in your face like, yeah, the facts don't even line up. They said that I was in the house for 15 minutes and I was really in the house for a minute. It doesn't matter. They can't prove it. He doesn't specifically tell you this is what they're going to utilize to convict you. And man, you know, so best case scenario in his mind is an individual who's overcharged by the state. Really, so what the states maybe should have at best pursued involuntary manslaughter if that was a statute or something really minor, what they give the cops, but they wanted second degree on this case, which makes no sense. No matter how you look at it, the jury would have looked at it and been like, how the fuck do you get second degree out of this? But like we said, another thing that made me, as I listened to this, like what's the complexity of these individuals we're talking about? Now, is the prosecutor white? The judge white? Is the person being charged with second degree murder the only black person in the scenario? You know what I'm saying? Other than the person being called the N-word. So, I mean, come on, give me some complexity to this, and then I'll be able to tell you why they stretched for second degree murder in this case. But whatever, we just move on. But it's bogus ass lie.
And, you know, it's not an issue of law. It's a matter of whether you can have him escape the charge, him or her. Well, that's a different question. And the role that I play as a criminal defense lawyer is to help people in tough situations, right?
Help people, let's get this right? Help people with money in tough situations. Let's go.
The role that a prosecutor plays is to put people in prison.
It's not the prosecutor's job. Through history, it was never the prosecutor, but now, yeah, definitely.
The burden is on the prosecutor to put them.
And what did I tell you? He's talking about, so that's how they use. They lie to you. Like, oh, it's the prosecutors, it's the state's burden to prove. But the state's been building up this the same way. If you look at this young thug, they've been utilizing criminal behavior against you since you before you knew that you were going to be a slave or a kidnapped individual in these prison institutions. They've been utilizing they've been utilizing your behavior, whether it's movies, whether it's internationally, what people think about African Americans and people of color in this country. They've utilized that, understand it. It's been many a times. There's cases that's been written, case law that says that defense attorneys have told their defendants, you can't get a fair trial in this county because you're a black male. So let's go.
In prison, period. And if the prosecutor can't do that, I don't care what the case is, they shouldn't go to prison. Thomas Jefferson said, better to let 10 guilty go free than imprison one innocent person.
So I heard that before. It's several. I didn't know Thomas Jefferson said it, because who gives a fuck? But whatever. Another one. It wasn't he the one with the slaves and the black wife? Okay, Jefferson. But so his position is, and he's a lawyer, right? So majority of his conversation is based on logic. So let's take it for logic. So I prefer 990,000 people that, and we can just make it small, like he said, 9. I prefer the law. It's better. The law. It's understandably better for 9 guilty to go free and have one innocent person be convicted. Damn, that's cold. It's cold piece. Bruce Willis. Maybe you could say that one of those videos, the end, 9. That's a motherfucking lie. It actually works the opposite. And that's what I learned about the law. They would convict 9 innocent people and let one guilty individual go. Let one guilty individual go. They would convict 9 people. In fact, they're shooting for the 10. To get the guilty one, that's icing on the cake. But if the guilty individual, 9 times out of 10, as representation, super lawyer liar, he's gonna get them off. Why the 9 innocent lager languish in jail? Derek Jordan being one of them. Richie Rich, Carlos, Islam. I can go on and on and on all day. Angela Bumpus. Come on, man. Where you at? Lawyer liar. That works opposite. It doesn't work like he says it works. Ask yourself why. We have several criminal cases where the judge says, they tell the judge that the jury convicts more individuals based on color, and it seems the darker you are, the more time you get, and the further they'll go with executing you. Right? You can look at death row and just see the complexion. So they opined many a times and said, we're never going to get rid of the death penalty. We can give a fuck how racist it is. We're never going to get rid of it. Never. So they present this opposite. They present like somehow that good cops are good, and that's what you want you to believe. And that's just, and the spirit of the law. Yeah, you would hope that would be the case. They give 2 fucks about you.
That's an old
being innocent.
ism that people are, in the
Mr.
law game are
Bruce.
very familiar
Bruce.
with. So it's not my job to help the prosecutor convict somebody, but our process, our constitutional process, does not
Fuck your process.
work unless we have the yin and the yang. So I don't feel. I'll tell you when I do feel bad. I do feel bad if somebody. I'll give you an example. I had a client that was acquitted of murder too, and I thought he should be acquitted. This is where I feel bad. And then he goes out and commits more crimes. And I don't feel bad from the standpoint there's additional victims out there, because in that particular case there wasn't an additional victim. It was he gets out of jail after spending like 17 months in jail while waiting for his trial, and he calls me up after an acquittal, and he was looking at 25 years plus, and he says, "What's the penalty for counterfeiting?" I'm like, fuck, dude. You know, I mean, you want your work to mean something. You know, you want somebody who gets a second chance to embrace it. So when they don't embrace it, and all of a sudden I don't like repeat customers. I have a few, but I don't like them because they make it very difficult to defend. You know, I like somebody who later on, 5 years down the road, says, "Oh my God, you changed my life." That's what I love.
So this is a classic story. I mean, this is Shawshank Redemption. I mean, I guess every white person in America, when it comes to criminal justice, a lot of these wardens and politicians love it. And people in prison picked it up and understand they'll get more traction if they claim some type of redemption. But we know it's not true. Again, I see everybody checking him out, and they really love what he got to say. And I'm just saying, I'm cool. I mean, there's no anything this about what he says or what he's doing, and if people believe him because he's got a JD or because he's connected with the right people, I'm cool. I have no. I mean, do your thing, Bruce Willis. I'm waiting for the next movie to come out. Shit, got my popcorn made. The problem with this whole scenario is that individuals like himself, and I said it to myself before I got out that I'm never gonna let anybody like that fool anybody. So I'll be doing a disservice to all those individuals young that's coming up, the youth coming up, to have them look at me later down the line and say, SAF Mo, why don't you tell me? You knew, why don't you tell me? Because that's what he's not doing. Yeah, he's gonna come down to your level, make it seem like he's one of you, but he's killed. He understands what's going on. Dude, don't give no fuck about you, man. Give a fuck. Matter of fact, he's gonna make sure you get as much time as you possibly can get, and he's gonna be chilling on his yacht, eating steak, laughing, not answering your motherfucking phone calls when you run out of money, Joe. So let me tell you something. You know what I'm saying? So it's all good, man. It's all good. He's preaching this at the end of the day. I don't know who wrote the script, but he's preaching a story of redemption and a person redeeming himself, which, whatever, the problem with the conversation and the way he's utilizing it is that he's not talking about as much as the law allows people who are guilty with enough money to get out of their charges and not face any type of consequences for their behavior, as much as individuals who are innocent, who are being convicted because of their color or because of their criminal behavior. Somebody like a Young Thug who he's supposed to be innocent and proven guilty. Like I said, I listened to all the garbage and I haven't heard one thing that he can be connected to other than constructively being connected through. But that's what a conspiracy charge is set up to do. So it makes sense from him. His point, like, oh, yeah, he said this lyric, this happened. He said this and this happened, and people are saying, and like he said on his last video, is most of it's built on rats and snitches, and their testimony's been compromised because they're getting a plea deal out of it. And of course they're gonna say it, and of course they're gonna how many people I did prison time with who had a person who testified on their case that eventually 10, 15 years later wants to retract their case because they were paid by the state for their testimony. Come on, man. We can play this game. There's no yin and yang about this at all. I mean, I'm yin and yang. If it was, it is. All I'm asking these motherfuckers to do is to do your goddamn job. Prosecutor's not there to prosecute you. They're there, spirit of the law, how it's written. They're there to pursue the truth of the matter, not these preconceived conditions that's been set up, and they can write this narrative for. He's a big black gorilla. He needs to go to jail. She's an innocent white woman. She needs to be let off. And the same way with the defense. If you don't have to write enough money, then you're not going to get a defense, and you're going to end up doing time, and you're going to probably end up doing a lot of time. You know what I'm saying? And your life's going to be fucked up. So it's working. The rich are still getting richer, and the poor are still getting poorer. Such that prison. You know what I'm saying? And I understand motherfuckers don't really want to hear the real, they want to hear the fake. So I guess continue to listen to Bruce, but I can tell you this right now. If you get locked up, don't you write SAF Mo and beg him, SAF Mo, could you help me? Could you write me a motion? Could you write me a poetry? I ain't got no money to play super lawyer, liar, Bruce, and everything he told me was a lie. It's too late for that, Joe. Good luck. It's SAF Mo, prison lawyer. Support, subscribe, check us out. Doing big things. I'm out.
Compartmentalize my emotions and not be affected by things like this. I'd love to hear your take on it and how you handle it. So here's the thing. This is actually probably one of the most asked questions I get. Now, if you know your client did it, how do you recognize? No question what happened. Prosecutor filed second-degree intentional murder charges, which were absolutely unbelievable and ridiculous. And so I knew he did it, but it wasn't murder. Now, what?
Yeah, so what he's doing is he's not answering the question, and eventually he's going to go on and say he's not answering the question, and he says this is the best case scenario. Okay, I guess. I mean, so say that happens the majority of the time when you do get someone who says, hey, I didn't do it, which this is obviously I didn't commit second degree, intentional, whatever, murder. Go ahead. This is SAF Mo, your prison lawyer with my man
Ron B in the middle.
You're in the grill pit.
Bitch.
Come check us out. June 26th, we're gonna be at Stillwater Prison celebrating Father's Day. A lot of speakers, free food. Gonna be demonstrating, trying to break those people up out of there. Ron B, what you got to say?
Shout out to the convicted felons doing better than the people with no felonies.
Put the camera back on me. It's SAF Mo, your prison lawyer.
You in the grill pit, bitch.
You're in the grill pit.
This is SAF Mo, your prison lawyer. SAF Mo, your prison lawyer.
You're in the motherfucking grill pit.
You're in the motherfucking grill pit.